Good morning everybody. I wanted to share with you today what's been going on with me with feeling the collective fear and how I've been dealing with that in the hopes that some of the tips and tricks that I share with you you'll be able to use as well, so that you can help overcome this collective fear and move on in your life through this time of pandemic with a bit more clarity, a bit more focus and a bit more love. So on Wednesday when I did my last video, before I'd done the video there was a call out that had gone from my ward at Chesterfield Hospital asking if there was anybody free to come in that day, and so I rang up and I said I could go in that afternoon, and instantly I felt the tension rise in my body because I'd got X, Y and Z to do before I had to go to the hospital, and I had to organise childcare and all this sort of thing. So at that point I felt anxiety, tension build in my body. And then a few minutes later I found out that actually they didn't need anybody at the hospital anymore, somebody else had stepped up. So thank you to whoever it was who stepped up at that point. But that feeling of tension, of fear, it didn't really go away. And as I was out in the woods foraging for the wild garlic, I had to stop and take a breath because I could feel this knot in my stomach, my diaphragm, and it felt like I couldn't get my breath in properly. I couldn't fully expand my lungs so that I could breathe properly, and it felt like stress, and it felt like fear, and it felt like tension. So I just took a moment to stop and take a few deep breaths in the wood. And as I was taking the deep breaths, I was envisioning that the goodness from the wood was coming into me. It was the scent of the pine leaves, it was the scent of the damp soil, it was the rain that was coming down. I was breathing in all this goodness from the earth's energy, and I was breathing out all this anxiety, and I could feel it coming up through my diaphragm and out through my mouth as I was breathing out. And I was sending it away to the universe, to the sky, or whatever you want to call it, and I was sending it away with love because I knew that it wasn't my fear. And I do often, what's the word I've said? I do often pick up on the anxiety of the people who are closest to me, and sometimes I know that the anxiety is mine, it's not to do with anybody else. But on Wednesday I could feel that it wasn't my anxiety, it was the anxiety of those closest to me, but it was also the anxiety of the rest of society that has grown as this pandemic has spread. And I asked myself if I could hold it and lessen the burden for others that were feeling this fear as well, and I couldn't. I needed to stay strong for myself so that I can then put myself in a vulnerable position to be able to care for the people who need it most, and they're the people that are in the hospital. So it was then I felt a bit better after I'd done the breaths in the woodland, but it didn't really conquer it, it didn't go away completely. So throughout the rest of the day I was feeling cold, I was feeling hungry, but I didn't know what to eat. I didn't really want to eat, which is a sure sign of stress for me. And I couldn't engage my brain. I couldn't settle to do anything. I'd made a right mess in my kitchen, making the sauerkraut with the wild garlic, but I couldn't be bothered to tidy it up, which is not really like me. I'm happy to leave it for a bit, but anyway. So for the rest of the day I was doing the deep breathing again. I got my essential oil blend that I take to the hospital with me. I rubbed that into my solar plexus, as I do every day when I start at the hospital. That instantly made me feel better. The food that I did eat when I could eat was nourishing food. It wasn't comfort food. Comfort food makes me feel stodgy. Nourishing food makes me feel strong and well. And I had an Epsom salts bath, and I made sure that when I was in the bath my solar plexus was covered by the water, and I also added some essential oils into the bath to help me relax as well. I know that other people count their breath, so that they might breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, and then breathe out for a count of 4, and you can vary the count. You might want to hold it for a bit longer and exhale for even longer, or whatever works for you, but focusing on your breath. And I'm going to hopefully go for a barefoot walk on the grass at some point today to keep me connected to that earth energy. And I'm probably going to get my crystals out at some point as well, so that I can feel that my chakras are keeping in balance, because this fear is very much base chakra, and I going to keep my solar plexus protected as well, so I'm not keeping any more. I'm doing this video now, which is helping my voice, and the breathing and the mindfulness will help balance out all of my chakras. So I'm not afraid of this virus, and that might sound arrogant to some people, but I know that I'm in a fortunate position because I am healthy, I'm fit and I'm well. And if I let the fear in, I'm going to let the virus in too. And so I just feel the fear, I acknowledge it, I recognise what it is, and then I work on letting it through my body. So that's with the essential oils, the breathing, the crystals, whatever else it is that you need to do to look after yourself, then do that. And if you've got any further suggestions of what you're doing, then please let me know. And I'm also, the other important thing is gratitude. I am grateful that I have a job at the hospital, because it pays my bills. It gives me opportunity to work extra, to get extra money for nice things. I am grateful that I have a wonderful family about me who can help with childcare, and I can help them with childcare as well. I'm grateful that I've got my own treatment room. I'm grateful that I've got my own house, and I'm grateful that I've got a car that can get me places. So keeping gratitude as a practice is really helpful as well. And I'm also looking forward to the day when we all feel safe again. So I will sign off and see you soon. Bye.